small rituals have the potential to completely shift the way you move through life, to completely shift your perspective. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Late Checkout. I'm so excited to be here. I am coming off of a week that was filled with so much energy, so much excitement, so much adrenaline. I was like beaming this past week because I hosted my first Pour Back Into You 7-day challenge. It was live, it was a community event. I had 13 amazing women who signed up for this challenge, and it was a dream come true just because I've been wanting to manifest this like hands-on community. I want to build community obviously through my digital content, through this podcast, but having that experience to be live on Zoom, like connecting with women over wanting to plug back into themselves, wanting to reconnect with themselves, to like take their power back into their lives, to like live intentionally, to bring consciousness into their lives through this 7-day challenge was absolutely incredible. Oh my God. If any of you are listening that were in the challenge, thank you so much for joining because I'm like emotional about, first of all, the turnout, because when you're doing something for the first time, right? This is my first challenge. There is so much excitement built up in me because I've been wanting this for so long. I knew exactly how I wanted to run this challenge, but there's also so much doubt that comes into play. Like you're unsure if it's going to land with the people, you're unsure if it's really going to help them drop into their own consciousness because I know this stuff works for me. I know this stuff has been the way I've been living intentionally and consciously, but like, will it work for other people? Will it actually help people? Like, is my service here, my purpose here, going to land with a community that is craving that intentionality in their lives? Like the people who don't want to be on autopilot and just like running through the busyness of their lives and wanting to intentionally be aware even when life is stressful and busy. So the turnout was amazing. The ladies had incredible energy. They came forward so vulnerably with like where they were in their journey, what they wanted. The check-in calls were great, just like having the community chat during the week, people being open about what they shared on their journal prompts, how they were incorporating the intentional action that day. I was getting side voice notes on feedback on how some of these prompts like really had them drop into this like human experience. So many people realizing like that they were on autopilot and they didn't even realize they were on autopilot in certain parts of their lives. My heart was full. It was absolutely such a special event and moment. I was like sad that it was over when it became over because I was really feeling a relationship build with these women between me and then them also together. And I just want to keep that going. I want to be able to continue growing a community base where we can all come together and make it fun and make it a community thing to tap back into ourselves. Because sometimes it takes that community push, right? Like I went to a workshop 2 weeks ago in Chicago that Crystal Williams hosted. She is a co-host on the Almost 30 podcast. She is an incredible woman. She put together this phenomenal workshop. I know she is like a freaking OG in the game. She does so much inner work and parts work and works with women in so many different ways, whether it's like getting back in touch with their essence or helping them with their brands or working through parts work with them. Or I know she even has like a workshop called Metamorphosis that's all about like body image. And it was one of those moments where I signed up for this event. And even in signing up, I knew I felt very called to it, but I was still nervous to go. Like these community based events, whether it's live or virtual, still give you like a little bit of, oh my God, I'm really putting myself out there. Like, what is this going to be like? And having come off of that weekend, having spent a weekend with 30 women, and I had put out a vlog about this. So check out my YouTube if you're listening, because I put out a vlog about my takeaways from that weekend in Chicago. But there's something about coming together and like being in a capsule of energy of other women, people on the same path as you, because even if they're in different points of their journey, they're seeking something similar to you because that's why they're there. So there's a commonality. There is a common interest. There is a pull and a craving for something more in their lives. And that is what like bonds you. That's what connects you. And it makes it more fun instead of it being like a siloed situation if you're going through something one on one, which also one on one is amazing. However, these community based situations just really amp up the energy. It amps up, I think, the ability for you to go through breakthroughs because you're hearing other people's stories that might resonate with yours. And it's just incredible. That workshop was incredible. This challenge was incredible. And I wanted to take this episode to just talk about the challenge and give a little bit of a recap and why Pour Back Into You is so important in terms of like why small rituals drive such big impact in your life because it really gives the ability for a huge perspective shift for you to move through your life differently, to decide for things for yourself differently, to move through the day to day in like a human conscious way, like giving you that invitation to not just be building your life and living it, but to be dropped in while you're doing all of that. So I'm going to walk you through what the themes were for each of the 7 days for the Pour Back Into You challenge, but I'm going to let you know now that in the show notes, I'm going to give out a free digital download, which is kind of like a softened, smaller version of what these women did in those 7 days. It's the full 7 days, each of the themes. What's great about the digital download is that it is self guided. So you get to go through each day of the prompts at your own pace. Each ritual is only like 15 to 30 minutes long. These are digestible, sustainable rituals that allow you to come back to yourself and be more in your body, be more in your inner voice, connecting with that intuition, being more submersed in the beauty of the world. Like I have a nature day, like I'm going to get into it, but having to do it with the digital guide will definitely give you the ability to do it at your own rate. So check it out. The link is in the show notes. I think you guys are going to love it. Literally life changing. Like it really will help you bring you back into your body. And if you try it, you have to DM me, you have to comment here, you have to tell me if you really felt the shift, if you really like the journal prompts, there's intentional actions in there. It's a good one. Okay, so before I get into the rhythm of the week, I need to do my intro. I just got so excited and jumped in. If you're new here, I'm Laura Janella. This is my podcast, Late Checkout. This is where I talk everything conscious living, but in terms of my favorite vessels, which is travel and wellness. I absolutely love intentionally traveling. I've lived abroad. I've gone to 46 countries and counting. Travel is like a therapy to me, and I love giving tips and tricks about intentionally traveling and also just recs about some of my favorite places, places that have moved me spiritually. From a wellness perspective, I love talking everything physical, mental, spiritual, emotional. I've done so much inner work over the last 10 years, and this is my place where I get to share my experiences with them. And also, I am building something around travel and wellness that will allow the people who follow me and who are a part of this to participate in a lot of these fun community events and also some of my services. So if you want more information, definitely check out my website, check out my Instagram at Laura Janella _, or if you're just into the podcast, Late Checkout also has an Instagram at late checkout _. Okay, now into the rhythm of the week. The first day was coming home to the body, just being aware of your body. I have a little bit of breath work practices in there. I have motion practices in there that allow you to kind of just listen in and tap into like where you're holding stress, where your body wants to move, really just kind of giving yourself that time to actually be with your body, which all of us do not do enough, but it allows you to truly tap in. And there's a journal prompt. Each and every day pretty much has a journal prompt. So if you're going to do this digital challenge by yourself, definitely have a journal handy. Day 2 was stepping into nature. Nature walks became a part of my regular regimen while I was living in Switzerland because I needed somewhere to go to be with my own thoughts outside of the house, outside of my kid screaming and crying and my husband. And that, like, when you just feel like the walls are closing in on you when you're at home, stepping into nature and grounding into the reality that we are also a part of nature is such a co regulating habit that allows you to really drop in and allow nature to hold you, allowing nature to just be around you. When I go for my nature walks, I try not to be on my phone. I try to just look up at the trees, notice the sky, notice the flowers, notice things around me. So I'm in the moment of this walk and not allowing my thoughts to carry me into the future of like what I need to be doing, or not allowing my thoughts to even go into the past and thinking about shit that was bothering me from the past or things I should have done differently, really bringing myself into the walk. And I have a fun little exercise in there for that walk that makes your walk a little bit more intentional. Day 3 was the first part to connecting to your inner voice. I talk a lot about how I believe that your intuition is your direct message, your DM. It's your inbox chat between you and the universe, you and God. Like that is the way that source is able to talk to you and tell you in a very calm, subtle, but intentional way, like the messages for what is the right move on your path. Because of our conditioning, because of the things that we go through, there's a lot of static and noise that builds between you and your ability to decision make and like what you're actually doing and your intuition, because there's a bunch of other voices that come into play. There's your nervous system that's dysregulated. There's past experiences that are telling you, nope, don't do that because last time that happened, this is what happened. Or even just in comparison to other people, you can start making decisions based on a comparison to somebody else. Like, oh, that didn't work out for her, so I'm not going to do it for me. But my intuition is telling me to do it. Clearing out the noise was all in day 3. It was just a huge journal prompt for you to get rid of and release a lot of the noise that is going on in your head, because that is the static that does not allow the radio of your intuition to like come through and be clear for you. So day 3 was a little heavy, but we need to do that in order to get to our highest self, our most aligned self. In order to get back into alignment and connect to ourselves, we do need to release a lot of that because there's a lot of buildup that comes in on a day-to-day basis. So day 4, I offset it with a really fun day, which is all about romanticizing your life. It's about sparking your joy. I do that through the art of music. You're choosing your favorite song, you're stepping into your main character energy, you're bringing out your spark. Music is something that as a human, we all connect to in our own different ways. There's just certain songs that like turn our light on. And when I say light, I mean that inner light, that unique light that I talk about with you guys that each of us has. And the way to spark that is through your joy, through the things that really light you up. And when we're bringing ourselves into a challenge like this, sometimes we don't even know what sparks that joy. We don't even know what it is that would make that light come back online because you feel disconnected from that aspect of yourself. So, music is a beautiful way in this challenge that I introduce everyone into even just noticing and feeling into what that light feels like, just turning that on. And of course, there's a journal prompt that comes with that as well. And there's an aspect of doing a main character energy little thing for yourself and also spreading that joy, because I am a believer that your light, when it's sparked, it's already emitting and affecting other people, but it's always nice to share joy as well. Day 5, we continued with that spark. We're kind of riding the wave of that spark and we're getting curious about the things that are lighting us up. What is something that we've been wanting to try? What's a book that we've been wanting to read? What's a person that we've been wanting to connect with? Is there a place you've been wanting to go? Are there things that have been kind of calling you in that you've thought about, but you allowed like your other thoughts to kind of wave that away? So we sit with our journals that day, just really answering questions about what we are curious about to have that spark come into our lives. And we take an intentional action of actually taking the step to do that one thing, to do the class that you've been wanting to do. Like look up the class, book the class, like really making sure that you are prioritizing that light to be in your life in some way, somehow. When it comes to connecting to our joy, we have the responsibility of figuring out what it is that actually sparks our joy. And sometimes it takes trying things on for size to even know if it would spark your joy. But if you start listening to the things that are calling you in, you are now creating this relationship between you and your inner voice. And your inner voice comes online so clearly when your joy is sparked because your light is beaming. She knows that you're listening. So she starts coming through louder. And then you're able to kind of start trusting what that inner voice is saying and doing and notioning you to do. So that was such an important aspect of the week. I mean, each day is, but that was like a really great big arc of the week. It's just like really anchoring into that joy. Where day 6, we come back and I do the part 2 of connecting to your intuition. Now, this day was all about just listening in to what your intuition is saying, like throughout your day. Something I was guided to do back at the end of 2024 was go through my day. And if I had a pull to do something, to just do it. Meaning, if I was driving down the road, I had my GPS on, but for some reason, I had the pull to make a right when the GPS said to go straight, just make the right. See where it goes. See how that lands. See what happens. This exercise is all about building that trust muscle with your intuition, but also to just listen in. I wanted people to be aware of when their body felt expanded, right? Like when someone comes into the room, does your energy light up? When that person comes into the room, do you contract? How do you feel when someone asks you a yes or no question? Did you say no, but really your intuition said yes? This day gives you the ability to listen in, and not that you have to be reacting to every impulse your intuition is telling you to do, but for you to know and identify how she's speaking to you. Is it through your energy in your body? Is it a voice that's coming through? Like, how is she showing up? Because without like building that relationship and without listening in, you're never going to really understand or know why you felt the way you did at a certain moment. You're never going to understand, like, why am I not doing the things that are according to me and only according to other people? Like, this is really just a relationship builder for you and your intuition, that inner voice that is so important for each of us, because we each have a unique inner voice, a unique intuition, because we all have a unique journey. We all have a unique thing to do on this human experience that we're all on. We're not all meant to do the same thing. So everyone's voice is so different. And it's so important to be tapped into it because it brings you to such great heights. And yeah, I just love that exercise of bringing us closer to our intuitive state. That small exercise builds the ability for you to also trust big intuitive decision makings, like, do we move to this town? Should I take this job offer? Do I want to quit my job? Like, when those big decisions start coming around, you're able to lean on your intuition a little bit more, even when your mind is trying to spin you off into another direction. So that was on intuition. Day 7, we closed out with planting a seed. This day was all about just coming back into your body. I had the girls take like a long shower, really be intentional about their body, put the lotion on, lay in your robe a little bit, just really ruminate in taking care of yourself. And the journal prompt closed out with planting a seed for what is to come with the week that had just passed. What do you want to do? What seed do you want to plant to make your life more intentional, to make your life more conscious? And of course, to pick your favorite ritual and to take that with you and do what you can, like put time on your calendar, prioritize it in a way that you would prioritize going grocery shopping, the way you would prioritize going to work, the way you would prioritize going to the gym, and taking one of those rituals with you so you can keep connecting back to yourself. Ugh, I was absolutely in love with this week. The women had such amazing feedback. They went through a process that really felt like it opened their eyes to where they could be more conscious. And that is just in 7 days. These little seeds that are planted in these small rituals, because it doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. Small rituals have the potential to completely shift the way you move through life, to completely shift your perspective. And I want to explain that a little bit more because what's happening when you tune into your body, when you tune into your intuition, when you tune into your joy, you are creating a connection to your aligned self, to the self that's actually wanting to show up and living life according to her, and not just having your energy go out and go, 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 because our lives are busy. We have work, we have family, we have social events, we have the gym. We have things that we are constantly doing that just feels like a to do list, a checkbox. Like, even when we're in the moment, we're having dinner. And then in your mind, you're already thinking about what the nighttime routine needs to be. You're already thinking about what you need to do after dinner. You're not dropped into the moment. Like, you are on autopilot if you're not fully consciously here. So, taking the time to do these small rituals once a day, twice a day, whatever you feel like is fit for your schedule at the moment, allows you to just be in this conscious moment, because there's our consciousness, right? Like, our conscious ability to know what's going on within us and to know what's going on around us. And then there's the layer of our thoughts. And our thoughts keep us not in the present the way our consciousness does. Our thoughts keep us in the past. Our thoughts bring us to the future, and they don't allow us to fully just relax into the moment. And these small rituals are these reps that you're giving yourself to drop into the moment. So you'll start noticing the shift that even throughout your day, when you're super busy and you are in this autopilot state, you might come out of it really quick and be like, okay, let me not think about everything from the past and future. Let me just enjoy this walk. Let me just enjoy writing this email. Let me just be in this moment here and right now. You begin to notice your thoughts and your behaviors more and more. The more intentional and consciously you drop in, even in small moments, the more your reflex is to drop in even when you're not dropped in. You become more aware of your thoughts. You become more aware of your behaviors. You become more aware of your patterns. It opens up the gates for you to see your life as this like gorgeous journey that is so uniquely yours. You're able to step back and see, okay, I'm typically showing up this way in a situation. I'm always getting that result. Why don't I try to show up that way and see if it can change the result? And that can be at work, that can be in your family, that can be in relationships. It brings in this availability for you to tap into just being intentional and conscious in every aspect of your life. You think it won't, but these small rituals really do allow you to build the reps, to build the muscle for you to trust, and also for your muscle reflex, right? Like muscle memory to drop into being intentional. I also feel like when we are noticing our patterns, when you get to the level when you're noticing the triggers that are around you, the tests that are around you, when you start noticing that certain relationships that have recurring themes in them, even though they're different people, the same problem is coming up in different form, you have the ability to say, why is this happening? Why am I continuing to be in situations that feel the same, but I want a different result? Let me be conscious about that. Let me think about the behavior and the energy that I am putting out into the world that is attracting this. And what can I do to shift that? Because you were able to shift your schedule to do these small rituals, you're able to shift any decision that you make in your life, and your decisions that you make in your life, literally completely up to you how you decide to show up to every single day, will shift the results in your life. It doesn't matter if it's down to how you nourish yourself when you eat, how you show up to certain relationships, how you don't set that boundary, how you people please, how you play small. These become more aware to you to actually be thinking about versus being on autopilot and just being in the narrative of like, this is just my life, this is what's just happening, this is how it is, this is what the cards I was dealt. No, we are able to like completely dead stop that and say, okay, if this is what's happening, how do I want to show up differently? What's the result that I want differently? And also, what is my inner voice saying? What is she saying to do that will bring me to better alignment with myself? Tapping into that inner voice and that intuition allows her to tell you what feels good and what doesn't. You are tapped into your energy. Your unique energy is telling you all the time through your intuition, through your body language, through your thoughts, what is good for you, what nourishes you, what expands you, what excites you, what sparks joy, and then what makes you contract, what makes you feel anxiety, who makes you feel small, who and what and anything around you that is not good and doesn't feel good. Being aware of that shifts your ability to decide around the things and the people that you want in your life. My favorite aspect about conscious living, like the thing that really gets me going and I can like talk about for hours, is the power we have in our choice. Like we can decide what relationships we want, what work do we want to do, what friendships do we want around us, what things do we want to do on a daily basis to nourish ourselves, to nourish our nervous systems. But in order to get to that point of awareness that there is the power in your decision, you have to like drop in to initially becoming conscious and intentional with yourself, trusting that you have that power, trusting that the cards that you are dealt don't just have to be the hand that you're playing. We can change out. Feeling into the essence that this human journey is such a gift. It's so special. Like, we get so distracted by building our lives. We get so distracted by getting the house, getting the family, getting married, getting the career, traveling, like doing the things that, of course, build a beautiful life. But we are not inside, like fully dropped in on the why. Why am I buying this house? Why am I marrying this person? Why am I traveling to this place? It's really the question of the why, like bringing in that consciousness. And then it's like, okay, if I have this job, this family, this house to maintain, this life that I'm building, am I moving and flowing through each and every day in awareness, with intention, with that consciousness that this is the life that I want and this is the life that I'm building and I want to move through it the way I feel like when I'm 85 years old, 90 years old on my deathbed, that I lived the life like genuinely in tune with what I truly wanted this whole time. The faster we wake up to that power, the faster we wake up to the consciousness of our minds and not let that auto consciousness like really take over and allow us to only check boxes just for the sake of it instead of actually checking them because that's like a soul level check mark. There's just a beauty in reclaiming that power, reclaiming that your spirit dropped into this timeline, into this body, into this situation for a very specific purpose. You do not need to be famous. You do not need to be a millionaire. You do not need to be doing anything what anyone else is doing. Your life is equally special to every single other person in this world. So just remembering that you have the ability to drop into this beautiful gift and give yourself the present that you can change whatever it is that you want to change. You can drop in and romanticize your life. You can drop in and go out into nature and just realize how fucking incredible it is to live on this earth and just be with the trees, be with the grass, be with the flowers. Like bringing yourself back online, pouring back into you gives you the fuel to want to be in that level of awareness for your life. And truly, it's like cleaning up house because anything that is not meant for you, anything that's out of alignment for you will slowly start just falling away. relationships, certain dynamics. Maybe the career doesn't feel as right when you're like living in your alignment and you realize, shit, maybe I do want something else for myself. Your world will respond to the energy that you're emitting. So I just genuinely wanted to push that point of like being conscious of your energy, tapping into that intuition, tapping into who you truly are so you can live the life that you genuinely want to be living here. Now, the challenge is incredible. I feel like it's this beautiful entryway for you to just feel into the rituals, build a toolbox of the things that felt good for you. If you do this challenge, put on a list, pour back into you list. What made you feel sparked? What made you feel grounded? What made you feel like you really got back into yourself? And use that toolbox for whatever day you need a certain type of fix to get yourself back dropped to get yourself dropped back into this moment, whether it's a journal prompt that really hit or the walk in nature that really hit or the long shower that really hit. Use your toolbox to know when you need that fuel in your tank. And if you can regularly get some fuel in your tank, if you can regularly nourish your nervous system and nourish yourself and connect back to yourself, you will see how easily it just fits into your way of life. The same way grocery shopping fits into your life, the same way walking your dog fits into your life. Make it a new non negotiable, just something that genuinely feels aligned to your soul. Nothing forced. This is not something to be performative. This is so genuinely unique to you. And that's what I really wanted the girls to take from the challenge was building their own toolbox. I wanted them to also just take the opportunity to try things on because maybe what fit for one girl one of the days didn't fit for the other girl. So she could just drop that ritual and say, okay, that was nice, but you know what? It didn't really land with me. But actually, the journal prompt day really landed. So I'm going to keep coming back to this. This is just the ability for you to try it on. And that's what I love about a challenge in a community space because you're going to do stuff that you haven't done before that you normally wouldn't even push yourself to do. So, from this amazing initial challenge, I am introducing a 3-week container starting in mid August called Pour Back Into You the Becoming. This is like a more integrative way to get connected to self. I am going to have a theme for each week. It won't be intensive where it's like every single day back to back, like it was in the 7-day challenge, because the 7-day challenge, I really wanted to get everyone nailed in there for each day having something unique and special. But this is actually an even better way to have more of an integrative experience around a particular topic and give yourself the full week to learn, reflect, and then integrate. So, this 3-week container is going to be a small, intimate group. I really wanted it to be something where I can give like my deeper attention to each of the women because I know that when you come into a space like this and it's a more integrative space, I want to spend time on our one live call a week really knowing your story, really knowing where you're trying to like authentically align yourself so I can help as much as I possibly can through the learning aspect. So then it sends you on the way to reflect and integrate in the best way possible. So the first week is all about hearing yourself. We're going to go deeper into hearing that inner voice. We're going to go deeper into understanding and combing through what is anxiety? What is a conditioned thought? What is a recurring narrative or a looping thought that's been stuck with you that isn't a truth? It's not a truth of yours. It's not your inner voice speaking. We're really going to parse out what it is that differentiates what that inner voice sounds like and what it is that's uniquely been going on in your head that we can kind of release, get rid of, or at least identify so that you can identify, okay, no, this is just anxiety speaking up. This is not my inner voice. This is not my intuition. And really just hearing it and listening into it. I'm also creating the Becoming digital journal with this. So everyone who attends will get a digital journal that'll already have like the preset journal prompts in it for each week and what the intentional actions are and what the embodied actions are. So it's going to be really awesome in that aspect and you'll feel like it's truly yours and something that you can keep going back to. Week 2 is all about remembering yourself. Oh god, I love just remembering like who I was as a little girl, like what sparked me up, what was the version of me that was just so authentically in tune with my spirit here before all of the conditioning, before all of the craziness occurred and kind of molded me into like the version of Laura that kept going through teenage life and 20s and all of that. This is a beautiful week where we get to kind of tap back into that inner child, but also tap into even versions of self that may have been speaking loudly in the last 10 years, but you didn't listen to. If there was a goal you wanted, but you ended up redirecting yourself and pivoting in a different direction, like really remembering the things that maybe you either wanted to accomplish once upon a time ago, remembering the inner child and what that spark was like, and remembering through the noise what you feel like you're here for. What is your purpose? Like, what is your essence? What is that special, unique vibration, that frequency that you only carry in this world? And the last week is all about becoming her, becoming yourself, and taking what we've learned in weeks 1 and week 2, but also dipping into what your natural gifts are. This was one of my favorite exercises I did a few years ago, and I tend to actually circle back to it pretty frequently. When I jumped off the corporate ladder, I asked myself, what are my natural gifts? Let's tap into the natural skill sets. What did I come into this world and earth actually carrying already before I learned trade skills and things at school? Like, what are my natural gifts? And I have quite a few exercises to work through on how we can identify that, and also some embodiment and integrative exercises to really take aligned action with who you want to become, and leaving you with 3 weeks of just genuinely knowing yourself better, having visited yourself in 3 different ways, really walking away with that feeling that you can move forward with the intention that you're living in your alignment. The more I've lived within my alignment, the more I've realized how out of alignment I was prior. And this is still a cycle because this beautiful human journey does not end to give us lessons. It does not cease to teach us lessons. It does not cease to keep bringing us to our next level. The more we can tap in and listen and just do some of the inner work that's like fun and special and unique to you, the more you're able to understand how it is that you want to be living, who it is that you really want to become in this next chapter, and just remembering that you already have all of that inside. It's just bringing it to the surface, really making sure that you feel confident about those aspects of self to live embodied in that way. So, if I've piqued your interest with explaining what the Becoming 3 week container is, check out the show notes. I have the link there for you to sign up. It is jam packed with more details about what you're going to get and experience from the week. I tried to sum it up as much as I could for this pod for you guys to really get like the feeling and the energy and the gist of it. But tap on the link below, go sign up. If you are like on the edge of like needing to reclaim your power back, to needing to reconnect with yourself, or you're just done with the people pleasing and done with like feeling out of alignment, sign up. Like, this is going to be an incredible 3 weeks. I am so excited for it. And if you're not called to a community event just yet, fret not, because I have launched a one on one pour back into you service where it is just a one on one session with me for someone who is either like in a pivot in life, a career change, a relationship change, a divorce, a any type of change that's going on that feels like you're not fully in alignment with yourself, or you're unsure of what the next steps are for you and you need that guided assistance to really be connected to yourself, so you know you're intentionally moving through this chapter and into this new season, then definitely sign up for the one-on-one pour back into you call with me. It includes a 60-minute conversation with me where I get to really know and understand where you are at in your season of life, giving you guidance, giving you guided practices and rituals to build your pour back into you toolbox. It also comes with a 15-minute follow up because I want to make sure that you are truly on your way. And even if you're not in a season of change, but you're in a season of feeling on autopilot, you're feeling out of alignment with self, you're feeling disconnected from who you truly are in this plane and want that guidance to come back to self, this one on one is also perfect for you. So, guys, all the links are in the show notes. I am so excited to work with all of you. I'm just so excited to like be expanding this pour back into you aspect of my brand because it truly brings me light. It sparks my light and my joy. So, comment below if you're interested. If you have questions, DM me, reach out. Do not be shy. I love talking, I love answering questions. And that is all I have for you guys this week. So I hope you have a beautiful week, and I will see you next time. Ciao, ciao.